Good evening. Welcome. Welcome. My name is Obendako. I want to share with you what I call factors that can cause delays in business success. That can cause delay or delays in business success. Factors that can make you delay in your business success. Nothing motivates more than success, no matter how little they are. If you succeed, if you see a little success in anything that you do, nothing gives you more motivation than that. Everything that you set out to do, if you see a little progress, you become energized, become motivated, you feel like what I'm doing can make sense, it can cause something. Now, on the other hand, if what you start doesn't make sense at initial stages, if what you start, you don't see any progress, you can despair and you can easily quit. And that is what usually separates those who are able to get to their goals and those who give up along the way. Because all of us want to see something, and we want to see something that is positive. We want to see something that represents the fact that we are not after all stupid and we are not after all ignorant, and maybe our decisions are not that wrong. We want to see progress. We want to see success. And I think it's important that we all see success. If you continue to meet struggles and pain and losses, it's tough. It's tough. So I want to talk with you some of the things that you can identify, or some of the things that you can easily see. And maybe if you are able to offset some of them easily and quickly, the success will not that much be distant from you, or may not elude you for very long time, so that you don't despair and give up on your dream. And they say that building any dream, realizing any dream, is not that simple. It is true, but if you identify some things that can cause the delay, maybe we can see progress a little faster. And one of the things that can easily bring the delay is you starting with a very with an idea that was not right for you. Right for you. What I mean by that is that all of us, any business that we are doing is an idea that we are trying to bring into reality. And so we pick ideas from all areas. Some of them we pick them from our hobby. Some of them we just saw somebody who was doing something and we got inspired. Some of them is just professional expertise that we have, technical expertise that we have. It could be anything, or somebody just suggested something to you and you started to run with it, and it became something that you got interested in, and interested in, and you thought that you could use it to build a business. Usually, those things, if we are ill-equipped with those, they can cause us delays. Let's say you are, a farmer. You know, your expertise is in farming. You have farmed all your life, and then you heard somebody talking about application development. You have no understanding of it. You have no passion for it. You have no desire, but they just talk that there's a lot of money in that kind of business, and you got interested in it, and you didn't take your time to develop the technical skills. You didn't even have anybody who knows anything about it. You didn't have any network. You didn't even know where the market was going to come from. You don't know. You eventually don't know a lot of those, and then because you have just heard that people are making a lot of money in it, you just start to say that, okay, I want to start technology business, and I want to be in a application kind of business. that usually may be a bad a bad idea for you, because you are going to have to you are going to put a certain number of hours in that before you start to see results. And so if you have never done it at all, and you have never, you have no expertise in it, now you want to go and learn, and then you want to after learning be able to build a product, maybe an app, and then you are going to start to develop a market for it. That can bring some kind of delay. But if you decided to say that, okay, I've done farming all my life, and so that it's farming that I want to do, and I saw my parents doing farming, so at least I have some network, I have some expertise in farming, and so the business that I'm going to start, I'm going to do in farming. The thing that you have passion for, the thing that you have some expertise for, they will help you to cut the delays, because no matter what business that you start, there is a certain number of there's a certain period that you have got to go through the germination, and if you are coming with a lot of skills, a lot of expertise, a lot of network already, you'll be able to cut the delays. And so people who really delay in businesses are people who start in areas that they had nothing, they had no knowledge in, that they had to go through all the mail to get to understand the concept. And it's not that you are just going to just win in a day because you think that is business. Because we usually underestimate the kind of expertise, the kind of training, the kind of understanding that we need to become successful in any particular business. So sometimes people delay in their business success because they started in an area that they had no expertise in. And every business and the kind of expertise that you need, and how technical or how difficult or how complex it is. If I want to start a business of, say, selling ID milk, for instance, and I'm not going to produce the ID milk, I'm just going to buy it from a wholesaler and set up a kiosk and start to sell. It's not so much, I don't need the technical understanding of how milk is produced from the factory. But if I want to start to produce that milk and tin it, put it in a tin or can, it will call for some kind of technical understanding. And that, before I get that level to make sure that I can produce that milk like Nestle is producing or any other company is producing, I would have to buy some time, and that could be a delay for you. So those may be weird examples, but it cuts across everywhere, every business that you are in. Maybe if you are in the middle of it and you feel like you have delayed so much, maybe you started the business in an area that you had no clue. Maybe you started in an area that you had no understanding, and you had no expertise, no nothing. And so you had to develop yourself to get the results. And so the delay, what we call delay, could come from that. Most people become frustrated in life because nobody is comfortable with what they call delay. A lot of people want to succeed quickly with their dreams, with their lives. And you can see that some people even go to spirit of rising and falling. They call something. The other day I was watching TV and I saw that they call something spirit of rising and falling. It's a delay because probably they didn't understand what they were doing. So business is like that. Some people say that they failed in their business. It's because they didn't train for it. They didn't train for it. And so if you don't train for the business, and the business happens to be a complex business, you experience a delay. Somebody else who may already be in the industry and may already have some kind of understanding, of how that business is done, could easily enter that business and succeed. And you will still be trying to find out what you are doing because you probably didn't enter into a business that suit, or that suited the kind of personality, the kind of expertise, the kind of understanding that you had. So don't just think that any business at all you can succeed in it. There are things that you have to understand in any business. And so look at yourself. Look at the area that you think you have some basic understanding and see the kind of leverage that you can get from there, especially if it has to do with production and manufacturing and processes, because those areas are more technical than just buying something to sell or developing a structure around the business. So if it's a very complex kind of business and you need a lot of technicalities involved, there are a lot of technicalities involved, then you will know that, okay, if I want to start this business, I would have to go and learn some of these things, or I would delay trying to learn it on the job. So you can have delays in your business success because you started in the business in an area that you were not ready, you were not prepared. And sometimes some people start businesses in areas that, maybe I started a construction company and maybe I've become successful. Now I go to, an area because I have succeeded in this kind of business. I go to an area, then I go to this area and I didn't take my time to study it because I have succeeded in one area. I easily think that I will be successful in this, and usually it's not like that. It's not like that. People spend their lives learning particular businesses, and if you just happen to jump into that business, you are also going to pay your dues before you become successful. And sometimes the time that we use to develop and go through the processes, a lot of us will call that as a delay. And nobody wants delay at all, because continued sustained delay is very much discouraging. Nobody wants wants discouragement. I don't want discouragement, but you cannot truncate the processes that most businesses require to become successful in. So you should know the kind of business idea, the kind of business, the kind of product that you think you can turn into a business, or you think that you can build into a business. And look at yourself, because what I can do with a particular product, a particular business, may not necessarily be what you can do with a particular business or particular product. And that sometimes becomes deceptive for people who only want to do business because they want money. Because the only drive for a lot of people, is that, oh, does the business make money? That's all I want to do. Yes, it's part of it. The business, you make money, and the business is number one, two, to making credible money. Credible money is follows productivity, follows business, follows sales, follows trading. But you should know the kind of expertise that you have, or you'll be in constant delay. Because every bit of it is, like, for instance, construction. If you decide to say, I want to start a construction company, and you know nothing about construction, you don't know, you just happen to have a contract. Having a contract has nothing to do with you understanding how to build a construction company. So there are a lot of things involved, and sometimes it can take you years to learn the trade and to get the right success. Because now in construction, you are going to know how to get the project, you're going to learn how to finance it. There are things that they call mobilization, advance payment. There are things that they call certificate. These are the business structure. And then on the project itself, you are going to have all kind of things involved, depending on which kind of construction that you're doing. Say building construction, you are going to work with a lot of people, engineers, architects, consultants, all kind of things. Now you have not done that, and they go to give you 20 million project, 30 million project, and you have never done that, and you are the only one involved. It will kill you. It will kill you. Even if they are screwing you, you'll never see. So if you want to start a company like that, you probably would want to follow somebody to understand what is done and how it is done well. Not just the construction itself, but the business of running the construction company. Because it's a whole different thing that you can run a construction, you can build the fact that you can build a house does not mean that you can build a construction company. They're whole different things. It's part of it. You need that skill, but it does not necessarily mean that you know what it takes to build a construction company. There are a lot of critical decisions involved, and it can sink you, into a very deep hole if you don't know what you're doing. So the financing, the cash flow, a lot of negotiations are involved. So every industry, for instance, somebody who is into production of, say, polythene bag, there are secrets in that trade that you are going to go through to learn. So if you were that much distant from that kind of business and you didn't study it at all, or you want to start a banking, a finance company, bank or something like that, and you were just somebody who was just following football, okay, and because now you have money, you think that you can build a bank and you are the one leading the bank. That will be disaster, because I can't jump now. I can't just jump to say that I want to start a bank because I've not worked in that industry before. So if I want to start a a finance company, I'm going to go through the terrain. I'm going to go through it to learn the stages, and sometimes that is very much inconvenient. So the best businesses to start are the businesses that you have some kind of understanding, some kind of expertise, some kind of passion for. That way you may be able to reduce the delays, because the delays can be very much discouraging, and nobody wants delays. And sometimes the delays can be years, because you entered into it without knowing. So let's say you want to start a mining company, and you are 40 years, want to start mining company, and all your life you worked as as an insurance officer. Maybe you would want to start insurance company. That's when you have the network, you understand a lot of things there. It is easier. And when you're successful and you want to add mining to it, maybe you can team up with somebody who has a lot of understanding in that field, so they bring a lot of asset because they know the area. You don't just start any business in any area that you don't understand. It will cause you huge problems, and I think that is what sometimes delays a lot of people, and they eventually give up because the whole business was not, it didn't fit them. They didn't know what they were doing. It was bad business for them. And so it's one of the things that can cause huge delays, and sometimes it can sink, it can put you into so start with what you know. If you start with what you know, that is very easy. Then from there, when you are successful in some areas, maybe you can have some excess money to try somewhere. And the other things that I think you can do is not neglecting how much important it is to understand how things are sold. Selling is also very easy way to cut the delays, because there are a lot of people producing a lot of things on the market. Some of them are importing them. If you don't want to go through all the the things that people go through to get the product produced, and you just want to be other side, which is the selling, taking the product to the customer, and if you can master that, because a lot of us didn't look at that as very important thing. But I think based on the kind of economy that we have, our economy is not so much industrial, so the industrial knowledge is not that much. Industrial knowledge, whether it's in construction materials, whether it's products from the health sector, or even whether it's food product, whether it's electronics, whatever, mining product, whatever things that people are producing. A lot of the things that we use here, we didn't produce them, so it means that the industrialization is weak. So I think that much of it that we can master will be areas where we are trying to sell, which people call it buying and selling. But it's one of the best ways to learn how to build business and not delay. Because it's one thing that the product is produced, and you just have to build the market for it. You build a stream, you build the process, you build channels to sell the product. Now if you have to go and produce that before you come to build the channel to sell it, it's a whole different thing. And so if somebody is producing and you are bringing, and you just have to focus on how you can take these products to the consumer, I think that is a better way of not going through a lot of delays yourself. And so don't trivialize businesses that you can sell something. Don't trivialize it, because the market that's where we are. I'm not saying that we should not look at production and creation and innovation and things like that. We should, but without money, production involves a lot of capital. Okay, so you would want to focus on, okay, even if I want to produce and I start to sell it, I'll be able to build a lot of network. I'll be able to build a lot of things that the moment I start to produce, I don't have to delay it. I'll be able to take the product to the market. Let's say I start to produce maybe things that people produce, let's say baby food. I start to produce baby food, and I don't want to give it to anybody. I want to sell it myself. If I had started selling baby food before, and I had built network with people who were selling, wholesalers, people, provision companies, provision shops all across the country, and I was just trading. I'm just trading the baby product, and then along the line, I want to start producing it myself. The moment I produce, I already have the market, so I will not delay. But if I start to produce it and I have no expertise in the marketing and in the sales, I will be in detour for very long time. I would be in delay. I will delay for a long time because now I'm focusing on producing it, and at the same time I'm focusing on marketing it. And that for most startups is difficult. Okay, it's tough because what goes on in trying to go through all these processes to produce baby product, baby food, whatever. There are a lot of components that you are mixing to get that product. Now you are going to deal with FDA, you're going to deal with packaging people, you're going to deal with workers, you're going to deal with electricity, you're going to deal with mixing, you're going to deal with machines breaking down and fixing them. There's a whole lot of network at that, at the downstream. And then you go to the other side, which is the marketing. Now you're going to have a marketing manager, you're going to go through all these things, and are you going to give them on credit, or you're going to give them cash and carry? It's a whole lot. So that's why companies like Nestle, you see what they do. They have distributors because it's tough, and that can cause a lot of delays. So look at the areas that are very much simple for you, and once you start to go through the simple side, and you have built that, because everything that you're producing, if you can't sell them, you have no business. If you cannot get them to the market, you have no business. And so because of sometimes our enthusiasm and our later appreciations of how much it takes to build a whole stream of business, we just try to confuse a lot of them and put a lot of them together. And by the time you see it, we have been 5 years in that business and we don't know what to do. We have been 10 years in that business and we have nothing to show. Why? Because we missed a lot of things. Complicated a lot of things. We may have understood the business, we may have understood how to produce that product, but then we didn't understand the streamline and we didn't master a particular stage. So probably your understanding and your expertise was on just manufacturing and then getting some other companies to market it for you, or probably you're very good with the marketing, with the sales, and which you should have just focused on and pick somebody's product and at least do it for a while. Once you start to get money, then maybe if you want to go into the production yourself, you could go there. Because our strategy will either encourage us, will either push us into success quickly, or our strategy can sometimes make produce a lot of stress in terms of delays. Because listen, delaying, if nobody is growing, nobody is happy with you. If you have been in the business for 5 years, 10 years, and you're still broke, you're still going through the same kind of things, people are not happy with you. You see, your family will not be happy with you, your friends will not be happy with you, you yourself will not be happy with yourself. And sometimes it's not because you're wrong, it's because your approach is wrong, your strategy may have been wrong. And so that thing can also cause you a lot of delays. A lot. It can cause a lot of delays. And the thing is that if you see success, you're encouraged. If you see success, you're encouraged. So delays are sometimes infrastructural. It's systemic. It's how we have been able to, how we have set the business. If you continue to push and it's not coming, look at your setup well. Sometimes you may have missed it. And so after 5 years, 10 years, and you're still where you are, you have endured so much. It's good to endure. Endurance is good. But you are enduring to win. You cannot endure and you're not seeing anything. So you want to endure, but still have a strategy to see fruit, to see success, to see progress, because that is where you get the strength. If you don't see the progress, you get to beat yourself down so much. And so look at the strategy and master part of the stream. And when you have become very much successful with that, then you can look at the other ones. So it's a product that you can master it. It's a sales process that you can master it. Whatever you can master it, and then start to get the successes. And sometimes if you have to shut the whole business down, shut it down. Don't be afraid and don't worry about what people say. They didn't push you there, you push yourself. So if you have done the business for a while and you're not seeing any success, close it. Go and start another one. Close it. Start another one. Start in the area that you have the technical understanding, you have the business understanding, you have the financial understanding, you understand the numbers, you understand how the cash is going to come. You understand how you are managing a lot of things involved in the business. Don't be afraid to stop a business that is not working, because it's your life that you're spending. If you put 10 years in, it's your life. If you put 5 years in, it's your life. It's not going to come back. And so you are putting those years in the business so that you can get results. And you have done it for 20 years. Sometimes you can see some contractors, and you see that and you become discouraged, I tell you. There have been contractors, when you go, they have been contractors for 20 years, and they are still going to DCs and people in government for contract and begging. And how much contract are they looking for? 50,000 contract to supply tissue, to supply soap. No, you can't spend your life doing that after 20 years. No, shut the business down, go and start another one that you think is more profitable. So and it's that much difficult for people to shut something that they have so much done all their lives. Sometimes some people just produce a product and there are no prospects for the product, but because they fall in love with the product, because they love it, they think that everybody should love it, and yet it doesn't sell. If it's not selling, the business is spending money whether you like it or not, and the product or the service should bring in the income. So it's not just time that you're wasting, you're also burning money. You're wasting money. Every day you go to the office, you put out the light. Every day you go to the office, you buy something. Whether you like it or not, Senate is thinking that your business is successful. IRS is thinking that your business is successful. And maybe you're not making any revenue at all. And you're spending your life. If it's not making any sales, if it's not bringing a lot of revenue, you would want to look at it again. Other than that, you are just causing delay. And nobody is comfortable with you causing delay. So after a while, they will tell you, this thing that you have done it all these years. I've not seen anything. And you tend to believe it because you didn't see sales as part of the business. So one of the things that you can easily do to maybe outweigh the delay will be to look at how businesses that are in those kind of things, because that's really the kind of business environment that we have. And if you start like that, things that will get you revenue every day. I think that people who start businesses in this kind of things are more quickly more successful and able to stop the delays faster than those who do bulk inflow kind of business. If somebody is selling some things every day and they are paid every day and they have a lot of customers coming in every day, they can do a lot than the one who is waiting to be paid every 6 months, especially when you don't have money and you don't have a lot of expertise. Okay, so the kind of business that you start and the cash flow is very much important. How the cash comes in, and people who have businesses that the cash comes in every day are less stressed. Okay, are less stressed, especially if the margins are good. If the margins are good, they are less stressed, and the delays are that much contained than the one who is looking for bulk money that everybody is promising you. They will pay you tomorrow. After 2 years, they're still not paying. It's not paying you. That's not the way. It will cause a lot of delay. You are wasting your time, and sometimes, as human as we are, we may not even see the time that we are wasting. So by the time you get aware, you come into consciousness, you've already pushed about 10 years in that business and you have nothing to show. And you have nothing to show because you overlooked the importance of sales and the importance of how the cash comes into the business. And so these are some of the factors that will cause you bad business idea and overlooking or underestimating the importance of you getting revenue every day. Those kind of businesses that get you revenue every day, if you don't underestimate that, it can help you or they can help you to stop the delay in business, because a lot of people delay in business, and that's why a lot of people go out of business or give up. And when you meet them, they will try to tell you that lesson the thing is very tough. It's tough because the approach was wrong. Yes, it's tough, but if the approach is wrong, then it's double tough. It's double tough. The other thing is wrong people. There are a lot of con men and there are a lot of dishonest people when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to business. Okay, and if you happen to get some of them, come close to you. They will make you, they will frustrate you, they will give you a lot of false hopes, and those can cause you a lot of delays. Okay, so especially those people who chase a lot of contracts, from all these organizations. If you happen to meet some of these crooks, okay, they are crooks. They will take a lot of money from you. They will snap. Don't get engaged. If you want to start business and you want to start some of these business in contracts, my later understanding is that don't waste money, a lot of money, on trying to buy project and bribe people. It's wasteful. It doesn't worth it. Why? Because it's almost always to end up in trouble. If the client wants the project so much, they are not interested in taking bribe. But if the projects that when the money logs, nobody cares, those are the projects that they are asking for money all the time. And so it's a call of confidence. It's a call of character. It's a call of credibility to school yourself to say that this is not the kind of business I want to do. I want to do it this way. And if you can stay out of it, because they can cause a lot of delay. If your environment is all about this kind of people who are always calling you to give you project and bring money and come and pay this and come and pay that, those kind of things that people do that they say that is business, it's far from business. It's not business. Business is controlled and business is predictable. The cash flow is predictable. The projects are predictable. You can project that I'm going to get this kind of businesses without trying to influence people. And so there are a lot of con men around, and the more con men you have around you, all of us have somebody who's not honest around us anyway. And so the more you have them around you, the more you will delay. Because they will delay you. They'll come in with big cars, big houses. Some of them will tell you, oh, they know the president. The president is in their house, was in their house the last night. The president's wife is their sister. They know everybody. People that you meet that know everybody. They know everybody in the country. Take a critical look at them. And yet, they're asking you for money. That, is questionable. You know everybody in the country. You look like you're rich. Yet you are trying to take money from me. Doesn't add up. It's a con man. He will delay you. He will delay you. And some of them could be women as well. They will delay you. So they come in all forms, in all shapes. So look at that. They can delay you for a very long time. And they give you false hopes of businesses. Some of them are telling you they will give you oil block. They will give you this. They'll give you that. Some of them will say that they will go and engineer. They are financial engineers. They will go and bring you investors for that project. The best form of business is the one that you can do from where you are. And when you have been successful what you're doing, somebody else will see it and show interest. Or sometimes, if you're successful, the business itself will generate the revenue. So focus on the one that you can control than just waiting for somebody to give you a lot of hope. Because I see that a lot of people say things with their mouth, but they don't mean it. Their only interest is to take the money, that the little money that you have, their only interest is to take that money from you. And don't believe in any title. Whether he's a minister or a pastor, doesn't mean anything. Chief doesn't mean anything. Measure people by their credibility. If you do that, you will be able to stop the delays. Measure the people by their credibility. Measure them by their credibility. Or you waste your time. And a lot of them will tell you, some of them could be family people, friends. It doesn't matter. You want resource. Once you want resource, be careful. Especially with contractors or with people who are interested in big projects kind of things. You will meet a lot of people who will give you false hopes. And false hopes, but the reasons is one major reason why people delay in their bid to see success, even in life. You meet people who give you a lot of false hopes. They delay you because that hope will never be realized. And so look at that. There are many. I'm not the one to tell you, but there are many. A lot of them, you can see them. Some of them you can easily see. Some of them is difficult to see because they can confuse you. They come like they are very much honest and credible. They come organized and they speak impeccable English. And they look like they have had money somewhere. And they look like they understand business, and they try to go with you to some offices and show off. Study all those. Okay, study all those, because some of the things that we have endured out of the things that we have been through, and a lot of them we have met. A lot of them. They don't mean what they say, and their words mean nothing to them. And so when you're going to build anything, look for credibility. Look for people who come around who words mean something to them. Even if they meet challenges, they are ready to come through to hold their word. And my point is that they are not that many. Okay, and never be confused with their so-called education. They don't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing. Position, don't worry about position. Hold them by the things that they do. Shock. The man run away with your money, and you are trying to take your money and tells you that the president is his brother. Okay, and that can cause you delay. They can come around you all the time, and they come and give a lot of false hope. The other thing will be one of the things that can also cause you a lot of delay in your bid to realize your business success will be wrong financial knowledge and wrong financial decisions and financial choices. Sorry. And so wrong financial decisions and choices, if you don't have them, they will cause you delays, because all the money that you lose, or then the money that will go, which shouldn't have gone, will go because you didn't have the right financial skill, financial knowledge, wrong negotiations, wrong understanding of interest rates, bad time to borrow monies that you didn't need, that you borrowed and you wasted. People that you didn't have to employ that you employed, people that you didn't have to pay that you paid. All those can cause you a lot of delays. Okay, so look at that, what financial, and study that, because that is really the case. Because if you are in the hole, it's very difficult to lift yourself up to the level ground, because if you get into debt, the debt can be there and they can hang on you for a very long time, and you cannot grow into profitability if the company is hemorrhaging, the company is in bad situation, and companies collapse because largely financial difficulties, financial problems come along. And financial problems come because the people who were leading the business didn't have proper financial discipline and financial understanding, financial knowledge. And so study that. If you are going to, one of the major factors that will cause your delay in your business success will be how you wasted the money, how wasteful you were, how naive you were with the money that came, and all the wrong negotiations and the attentions that you gave yourself that you didn't need. Sometimes people do projects, they get money, and the next minute they are buying all the things that they are going to buy, or they give you the mobilization and you started to go and marry. I remember the other time you gave somebody a project and you gave him mobilization. The time you had it, the guy had gone to marry with the mobilization that we gave him. It happens. And so the finances, if you don't get them right, they will delay you. They will delay you, or they can even wipe you. They will kill the business right there, and they can put you into a very bad situation. And so my name is Kwabena. I am talking about factors that can cause you that can cause delays in your business. And the first one will be a bad business idea. If the business idea is wrong, you can be in delay. It means that you are not fit to run that kind of business or that product or that idea. You don't have the expertise, the understanding, the skill, the network to build that into a business. And that sometimes it takes a while for you to figure that out. And by the time that you finish understanding it, you are already in your 28th year. That's a delay that you don't want, because nothing motivates like success. Nothing motivates a person like success. That's why when they give people commission, they become very much invigorated. They want to, they want to go and get more. That's because everybody responds to progress. Nobody wants to delay. So we get energized when you succeed. So if the business is delaying, there's trouble. People will give up, and then not knowing that the best way to start a business when you have no expertise is to just get a way of selling something. If you can master the sales, out of that you can build a business. Out of that you can build a business. And the other one is wrong people. Association of wrong people, associating with the wrong people, especially the con men, dishonest men who come and raise your hope and they push you into living a dream that is not, they push you, they create a whole future for you so that they can extort you today. There are many, there are many, there are many, and they come in all kind of people, all kind of profession. So never be, they can be educated, they can be uneducated, they can be anything, lawyer, doctor, pastor, it doesn't matter. Test them by their credibility, by their results. Let them prove something, because they can put you in a very bad situation, especially when they see that you have money. When they see that you have some money to do something, they can easily let you lose that money. And the moment you lose that, if you lose that money, you are going into difficulties, and difficulties will bring the delay. And the other thing will be wrong financial knowledge. So if your financial knowledge is wrong, you waste a lot of resources. And if you waste a lot of resources, that will also push you into delays. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Kwabena. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you heard something from this. Thank you.